Let's talk about healthcare spending. Always a big expenditure, usually the biggest in the budget. Talk about what you set out for Ontarians today.
Well, a couple of things. We recognize that over the last number of years, hospitals and community care have needed more resources. We've been putting a lot in community care. In this budget, we're recognizing that hospitals need an increase, 3% increase across the board for hospitals. It's a very important investment. But the thing that I think, most proud of in this budget is the changes that we're making to OHIP. OHIP Plus, we're going to provide free medication to students, to kids from 0 to 24, because we know that if young people can get those medicines that they need, whether it's for a chronic disease or whether it's a one-off illness that they have, they will be healthier. There are many people who can't afford to buy the medications that are prescribed for their kids, and so that's why we're making this change. It's a very important one for the people of the province.
It is important, but can we afford to do something like that?
So the thing is, we're coming into balance this year. We're balancing the budget.
Yes.
And what that does, it's not about balancing the budget for the sake of balancing it. It's about balancing the budget so that we can have the flexibility to make the investments that people need in the province. This is an important turning point. It's been a long time coming. You know, we've been climbing out of a deficit that was in place because of the economic recession, because of the economic downturn in 2008, 2009. And we've gotten there. There's a lot of hard work that's gone into to balancing the budget, but we're here, and now it's really important that we invest in the people of the province, because this is a really uncertain time. It's an uncertain time globally. Ontario's doing very well, but not everyone in the province is doing well, and so that's why this budget is important. It will give people some relief, and healthcare is a primary example of that.
One of the complaints coming into our newsroom is about people in the hallways of hospitals because there's not enough beds or rooms for them. Will this expenditure help alleviate that problem?
Absolutely. I mean, it will in a general sense. Giving those increases to hospitals across the board is very important. But for example, there are certain hospitals like Trillium, the Trillium Health Centre, that needs an upgrade, that needs more space. It's in one of those high growth areas in the GTA, and so we've explicitly said we're going to rebuild, and we're going to invest in a newer and bigger facility for that part of the region, because that's where the growth is, and that's where people need support.
As far as the nursing homes, there was some mention of elder care beds. What are we doing there?
So we're upgrading 30,000 beds, Dwight, and we're also...
But no additional beds at this point.
Well, we're investing in community and home care, because that is, you know, that people need a continuum of care, and so we recognize that there are alternatives that are needed. We're working with retirement homes and long-term care homes to figure out what is that continuum of care that people need. But what we know is that people want more care in the community, and so that's why there's money in this budget that will increase the support for community care.
Another focus of your government, education. What are we doing there?
Well, this fall, you will see free tuition for over 200,000 students in this province who are going to post-secondary, whether they're going to college, university, or getting training. And we know that our advantage as a province, given our huge geography and our small population, our advantage is our educated workforce. So that change to the student assistance program that will mean that kids from middle and low middle income families will get free tuition will make a huge difference to families, and not just kids who have just come out of high school, but also young people who have been out of school for a while and want to get back into the system. They'll also be eligible for free tuition.
Childcare, that's another big one in this province. People are complaining that it's too expensive, there's not enough spaces, there are different needs from the urban areas to the rural areas. How are we tackling that?
100,000 childcare spaces over the next 5 years, 24,000 this year, including subsidy. There will be subsidy that will go not to just the urban centres, but to childcare spaces around the province, because we recognize that although it's important to build the spaces, we also need to make those spaces affordable. So this budget includes supports for childcare subsidies as well as the creation of new spaces. And when those kids are a little bit older and they're going into junior kindergarten, another thing that we're doing in this budget is we're putting a cap on the class sizes for junior kindergarten and senior kindergarten, because some of those class sizes were getting...
They're going up into the 30s.
Yeah, and so we're putting a cap of 30, and then next year 29 with 2 adults in the class, and that will help those little kids with a good start.
What do you have to say to the critics who say, you know what, this is a political budget. It's not about helping Ontarians, because we hear you talk a lot about immediate relief for Ontarians, and a lot of the decisions that are made in this budget, or hopefully will provide some immediate relief in housing and other sectors.
And hydro, housing,
exactly.
Pharma, yeah.
So what do you have to say to the critics who say, you know what, Kathleen, this is really premier about re-election and not about helping everyday Ontarians?
Well, let me just say that we have been consistent that we were going to balance the budget in 2017-18. From the time I came into office, I have said that was our objective, and we have stayed on track. And we've done a lot of heavy lifting to do that. The people of Ontario have done a lot of heavy lifting to get here. And so now what this budget is about, it's about reinvesting in the people of Ontario, making sure that they get what they need, lower electricity prices, medicines, free medicines for their kids, free tuition for students who are going into post-secondary. Those are investments that will help people in the province. It will help the economy of the province, because people will be better off. That's what this budget is about, and you know, I'm going to be working very hard as we implement this budget over the next year.
You see how well our province is doing. You're a veteran politician, Premier. Does it surprise you that your polling numbers are so low when the province is doing so well? We're doing better than the country, better than a lot of jurisdictions around the world. This place is booming right now. Why is that not reflected in the polling numbers of the leader of the province?
So I'm going to leave that to you, the pundits and the reporters and the analysts. I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm thrilled that the province is doing so well. I think part of what I'm saying now in this budget is that we recognize that even though the province is doing very, very well, there are people who aren't feeling that. And so that's why, you know, lower electricity prices, free medicines for kids, those are things that will help people in their everyday lives, and that's why this budget is so important. So I can't give you the take on my personal popularity, because that's not what this is about. It's about making sure that people in the province have what they need.
Appreciate your time,
Thanks,
Premier.
Dwight.
Good luck.
Thank you.